All right, we're going to start learning about the string family today. This is BrainPop. BrainPop does a really good job of introducing this kind of stuff for us. So we're going to watch kind of this video within a video of BrainPop introducing the string family for us. Now, I do want you to pay attention to ways that we can play a string instrument. There's quite a few ways, actually. So I want you to think about that as the video is going. Okay, so we're going to do this. And I'm going to have my face. See ya. And press play.
Geez, I'm sorry. You're too strict. Dear Tim and Moby, I want to know how stringed instruments make such beautiful sounds. From Cass. They can make some ugly sounds too, turns out. But whether it's pretty or not, the sound is produced by the vibration of strings. You may notice that the vibrating string looks kind of like a sound wave, especially if we do this. That's no coincidence. The sound the string produces has the exact same waveform. The sound's pitch, how high or low it is, depends on how fast the string vibrates. The faster it goes, the higher the pitch. The string's thickness, length, and tension all contribute to how fast it'll vibrate. How it's played affects other elements of the sound. A string can be plucked with a finger or a small piece of plastic called a pick. It can be struck, usually with a small hammer. Or it can be bowed, which is when you draw a bow across it. If you've ever stretched a rubber band between your fingers and plucked it, you know how something vibrating all by itself doesn't necessarily sound very loud or all that pretty. So strings are almost always joined to something called a resonator or sound box. That's a hollow structure, often made of wood or metal. The resonator picks up the vibrations of the strings and starts vibrating itself. That amplifies the sound waves. In other words, makes the sound louder and fuller. In most cases, a resonator is just the body of the instrument. String instruments without resonators can be electrically amplified through loudspeakers. If you've ever been to a rock show, you know how loud those can be. People have been playing string instruments for thousands of years. The oldest ones were probably inspired by the sound of the hunting bow. Ancient Egyptians fashioned harps that looked a lot like their bows. Other types of harps and lyres became popular throughout the ancient world. You probably picture modern harps looking like this, but they come in all sizes. Oh, the harp's resonator is in a hollow part of its body. If you've ever looked inside a piano, you may have noticed it looks a bit like a harp. See, the lower-pitched strings are long and thick, and the high-pitched ones are short and thin. When you press a key, a felt-covered hammer hits one of the strings, producing a sound. Instruments that are struck are usually considered part of the percussion family. Stuff like drums, bells, and xylophones. The piano combines elements of strings and percussion, so it's kind of halfway between the two families. Each piano string has a fixed pitch, just like with harps and lyres. But in stringed instruments with necks, you can change a string's pitch by pressing on it in different places. That's because it changes the length and tension of the part of the string that's vibrating. In guitars, there are little raised bars all along the neck. These frets act like guides, so you know what note you'll get from pressing the string there. The necks on bowed instruments are usually fretless. The bow is a strong, bendy stick with a ribbon of horsehair stretched on it. The ribbon is rubbed with sticky tree resin. That adds to the friction between the bow and the strings, creating more vibration. If you've ever seen a classical orchestra, you've probably noticed the big string section. It includes 4 main types of bowed strings. From highest to lowest pitch, they're the violin, the viola, the cello, and the double bass. You'll often see the double bass in jazz combos, too. Yeah, the string instruments we've covered are popular in Western music. Other traditions have their own favorites. There are dozens of variations on violins and violas used throughout the world, and probably just as many guitar-like instruments. In China, the erhu is a popular bowed string. It has 2 strings and a resonator shaped like a hexagon or an octagon. A python skin stretched tight over the end helps amplify the sound. The sitar was developed in India. It has up to 21 strings, and on some there are 2 different resonators. The sitar is tough to play. You need fast fingers. My favorite stringed instrument is called the hurdy-gurdy. I just love saying that. Hurdy-gurdy. Thanks, but my ankle hurts.